Hi, everyone. Please grab a seat. So nice to finally be back here after 3 years. Honored recipients, Glenrose staff, and special guests, welcome to the 18th Annual Courage Awards presented by the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital and Foundation. My name is Sue Go. I'm a contributing member of the Courage Awards Committee. I'm a senior communications advisor with Alberta Health Services. That's my new job. You might know me from my old job, which was the health reporter and noon news anchor for Global News for many years. It's been a true honor to be here at the Courage Awards this is the 18th annual. I've been here for 16 of those years. Very nice, especially to be back here in person after 3 years during the pandemic. Yeah. And I'm very happy to share my hosting duties today.
Yeah, this is the first time you've had to have a co-host with you, right?
Oh, what a chore. Yeah.
So I've known Celine for the past 13 years now. I've been at Global News. My name is Quinn Oler. I'm a reporter and anchor with Global News. I'm absolutely honored to be here today as a co-host for this special ceremony. Now, we'd like to begin by thanking the diverse Indigenous peoples who ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as Nehiyaw, Cree, Dene, Anishinaabe, Saulteaux, Nakota-Iska, Nakota Sioux, and Nitsisapi, and the Blackfoot people. We would also like to acknowledge that this is Métis homeland and the home of one of the largest communities of Inuit south of the 60th parallel.
This year, we are presented with another really lovely opportunity to honor and celebrate the extraordinary courage displayed by our patients here at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital. Today, we will proudly recognize 2 Courage Award recipients, as well as 2 additional special award recipients. And as you listen to their stories today, you'll hear about achievement over adversity and courage. That is a running theme here today. I hope it touches your hearts as much as it touches ours. These people have been through more than most of us can truly imagine.
Celine has done such an incredible job for us at Global Edmonton in sharing these stories as well. We're so proud that Global Edmonton produces and airs these segments honoring the Courage Award recipients. Now, we'll share the Global News videos throughout the ceremony, and I'm certain their stories will touch your hearts just as they touch ours. It's one of our favorite times of year at Global Edmonton, being able to see these absolutely courageous people in our community doing such wonderful things. Now, as the program progresses, we invite you to share your favorite moments because we live in a world of social media. Tag the Glenrose Hospital Foundation Facebook and the Instagram page.
So we'll start off today's ceremony by welcoming our special guest, Dr. Chester Ho, the Facility Medical Director of the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital, to share some remarks. Dr. Ho.
Thank you, Quinn. Thank you, Celine. Good afternoon, honored recipients and special guests. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the 2023 Courage Awards. The journey to rehabilitation and recovery is never an easy one, and yet each of today's recipients has faced adversity with strength and courage. They have demonstrated a commitment to reclaiming their lives, their independence, and their futures. Akira and Aria did not get to choose the path that life has presented to them, but when given challenges, they responded with extraordinary strength and bravery. As we celebrate their successes, we also acknowledge the resilience and determination of all of our patients who inspire us daily. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the dedicated team of healthcare professionals, clinicians, and staff at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital, who have played an integral role in the remarkable journeys of this year's recipients. With over 100,000 patient visits last year, the need for rehabilitation care in Alberta is on the rise. And we are incredibly lucky to have these professionals delivering exceptional care to those who need it the most. On behalf of the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital, congratulations, Aria, and also Akira. Your stories are truly inspiring. Thank you for allowing us to share your journeys together today. Now, I'd like to welcome a special guest who's joining us today to offer his congratulations on behalf of Alberta Health Services. Please join me in welcoming AHS President and CEO, Mr. Mauro Kies.
Thanks, Chester. Thank you, Sue Ling and Quinn as well. Good to be here with all of you this afternoon. As said, my name is Mauro Kies. I'm President and CEO for Alberta Health Services, and an absolute honor to be here today for the Courage Awards. And I wish to start by echoing what was said earlier, that our work takes place on our historical and contemporary Indigenous lands, including the treaties of 6, 7, and 8, and the homeland of the Métis Nation of Alberta and our 8 Métis settlements. I also want to acknowledge the many Indigenous communities that have been forged in our urban centers across Alberta. Such a pleasure to be here today at the 2023 Courage Awards. Been a long time since it's been face-to-face, as I understand, this first time in over 3 years now, which is great that we could get everybody back together again. Each year, the Courage Awards recognize Glenrose patients who have demonstrated exceptional strength, determination, and courage throughout their rehabilitation journeys. Many of the individuals recognized through the Courage Awards have overcome tremendous odds to where they get here today, and their stories are truly inspiring, and they should be very proud of all that they have accomplished. And those being recognized today are absolutely no exception. This year's award recipients have demonstrated great resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to do everything it takes to overcome the challenges that they have faced. Thank you to each recipient for sharing your stories today. You're an inspiration to so many, including our patients and our healthcare providers. And we appreciate your openness and willingness to share your experiences here with all of us today. The Glenrose proudly provides specialized physical and therapeutic services to patients of all ages and stages of life. As the only freestanding tertiary level physical rehabilitation facility in Canada, the Glenrose offers a wide range of programs and services for patients that are requiring complex rehabilitation to help them in their lives and live their fullest. Additionally, the hospital is an academic center for several University of Alberta medical education programs and plays a strong role in the development and advancement of research, innovation, and training opportunities in rehabilitation fields. The Glenrose has always strived to be at the forefront of rehabilitation research, treatment, and care for the benefit of our patients, but this wouldn't be possible without the dedicated and skilled healthcare professionals and the support of the staff that work in this facility every day. We are deeply fortunate to have a committed team of talented and experienced individuals working at the Glenrose, and I am truly grateful for everything that you do. I also want to recognize the Glenrose Hospital Foundation, which has been a true partner in our work. Their longstanding efforts to bring innovative equipment, research, technology to Glenrose have helped us tremendously in our journey in providing high quality care to the patients and their families that we serve. Recent efforts such as the development of the Chatty Center for Pediatric Rehabilitation and the Edmonton Oilers Pediatric Procedure Room, funding a new vehicle for the Glenrose Driver Evaluation and Training Service, investments in a brain-computer interface program, creation of a pediatric family room, and much more to ensure that the Glenrose has access to the latest in rehabilitation technology and equipment for many, many years to come. We are deeply grateful to the Glenrose Hospital Foundation and its donors for your exceptional support and for the many years that you've hosted the Courage Awards. I also want to share my gratitude to today's sponsors. Thank you for your support in helping us make today's event a reality. And thank you, Sue Ling Go and Quinn Oler, for co-hosting the event, for being champions of the Glenrose. We appreciate all you do to support for this hospital and the patients who benefit from the services here. And congratulations again to this year's Courage Award recipients on being recognized today. You should be very proud of everything you've achieved here today. Your stories are truly inspirational, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your kind words. Now we're joined by Mark Porathis, President and CEO of the Glenrose Hospital Foundation. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Quinn and Sue Ling. Thank you, Mauro, for attending your kind words and being on brand with our new our new brand. I had to go out last night and get a tie because I rarely wear ties, but I did for this event. So Simon's was a bit too expensive, so I had to settle for Marshall. So I hope it suffices. It's a privilege to be here today in person with you all. We've come together not only to celebrate the remarkable award recipients, but also to recognize the spirit of our community that helps drive this event. This marks my 4th Courage Awards, and I'm happy to be here in person for the very first time. I'd like to offer my gratitude to the incredible healthcare professionals at the Glenrose Hospital who work tirelessly every day to strengthen and heal those who come through these doors. Your dedication and expertise are unmatched. And thank you to all the community members who are joining us here today, both current and former trustees from our board, patient, family, and friends, as well as donors and sponsors who support the important work at the Glenrose. We're grateful to you all. At the Glenrose Hospital Foundation, our focus is helping to accelerate advances in human ability. We believe that every individual, regardless of their circumstances, deserves an opportunity to reclaim their life and regain their physical and mental well-being. It's this belief that drives our continuous pursuit of advancements in rehabilitation and our ongoing commitment to leveraging research, innovation, and technology to enhance the quality of care our patients receive. Each year, we have the distinct privilege of acknowledging those among us who have faced adversity with courage, who have stood tall in the face of life's most significant challenges, and who have become an inspiration to us all. On behalf of the Glenrose Foundation staff and trustees, congratulations to this year's Courage Award recipients, Akira and Aria. I'd now like to invite Trent Brown from James H. Brown and Associates to join us on stage and share a few words. Trent? It's always good to count from applause, especially for a sponsor.
A couple bald guys. Let's go. Thanks, Mark. And thanks, Quinn and Sue Ling and all of the award recipients and everybody for joining us here today. It's an honor to be with you here today to celebrate these worthy recipients at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital. This amazing state-of-the-art facility has helped hundreds of thousands of Albertans, but it's also helped hundreds, maybe thousands of our clients. So we've been able to witness the work that you do here firsthand. And so to all of the incredible doctors, the therapists, the staff, and all of the volunteers, thank you. You're truly amazing. You're making a difference and you're changing lives. Now to the recipients, congratulations to all the worthy recipients today. When I think of the Courage Awards, and I've been to quite a few, and I think of the qualities of the previous winners, I think of people who have demonstrated positive attitudes, resilience, commitment, determination, remarkable bravery, but most of all, courage. Courage. So what does that mean? Courage. Well, it means strength and perseverance in the face of great adversity, in the face of uncertainty and sometimes fear. Courage. To be recognized for courage is truly an honor, whether you're 3 or whether you're 33. And I can tell you, I have a 3-year-old, and it really hits home when I read about the journeys of a 3-year-old. But people that have been recognized for courage throughout the ages, people who are honored for courage, are also revered and regarded as heroes. So I want all of you to know today that are being recognized for your courage, that you're also heroes. You're heroes, you're warriors, you're champions. You're people who, when you face adversity and uncertainty and sometimes unspeakable challenges, you do not shrink down, but instead you battle through it. You rise up and you come out on the other side. An inspiration, an example for all of us about the strength of the human spirit. Through your journeys, you become symbols of perseverance, courage, and hope. True heroes. So thank you. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your courage. Today, we celebrate you, and on behalf of our law firm, all our lawyers and all our staff, we thank you because we need you. We need your stories. We need your journeys. They lift us up and they give us hope, shining examples of the human spirit and what is possible. I'm grateful and I'm thankful to be here, and thank all of you for coming. Good.
Thank you so much, Mark and Trent. The Glenrose Hospital is extremely fortunate to have James H. Brown as supporters. Now, you may have noticed the programs, hopefully you all have one. Inside, you'll be able to read about some of the Courage journeys in there. They do have a brief summary and sort of the journeys that they've taken to get here today, and they're some pretty remarkable stories. Let's introduce our first recipient today. And listen, since this is our first ceremony in person in 3 years, I want to do some big cheers, okay? When she eventually gets up here. Akira Niset is our first ever 2-time Courage Award recipient. So I first met Akira in 2009, and I will never forget her sense of humor, and she still has that despite some incredible things that she's been through since then. She's accomplished so much and is incredibly deserving of this award twice. Let's take a look here at Akira's story.
When Akira Neeson had a stroke in 2009, she was diagnosed with moyamoya disease, a blood vessel disorder most common among Japanese boys.
So the fact that I was diagnosed with moyamoya and I'm not a little Japanese boy and my name is Akira confused everybody a lot.
Staff of the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital presented her with a Courage Award. 14 years later, they're honoring Akira again after her second stroke.
I do see people kind of say, hey, I don't want to go through this again, right? But that was not Akira. She was gung-ho and eager from day one.
Her first stroke affected mainly her memory, which she was able to rebuild and start a career as a substitute teacher. But this one hit her hard physically. After brain surgery to remove a clot, Akira arrived for round 2 of rehab in a wheelchair.
The things you have to work on you would never think of, like rolling over in bed, which doesn't sound that complicated, but it really is after a stroke.
And the left foot's already there.
Her left side was severely affected. For 1 year at the Glenrose, Akira dedicated herself to learning to sit, stand, walk, and drive again. The 35-year-old also used her training as a teacher to help educate physiotherapy students at the hospital.
She had spent a lot of time to give feedback to those students, which really impacts their learning.
No, because they're geniuses already, so like there's not much I have to teach them. B15.
Akira has also continued to volunteer at the network's Activity Center for Brain Injury Survivors, leading games and lending support.
I now realize how courageous they are because of how hard it is to not be able to do something and to feel like the world isn't really designed for you.
The mother of 2 hopes to eventually return to teaching and possibly become an advocate for people with disabilities.
I'd like to use my power of the gab for good. That would be nice.
She continues to go above and beyond to help others who are experiencing things that she's been through, and to do that not once but twice is beyond amazing.
Now, just before we get to your speech, we hear that there's something going on pretty cool at your mom's house.
She's having a little bit of a watch party in White Horse Union.
So I would like everybody to say on a count of 3, hi to our watch party. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hi. Okay.
Here's Spanish.
There. All right, I'm now pleased to invite Krista Calder from Akira's care team to come on stage and present Akira with her awards. Hello, and welcome to the Oscars of Rehabilitation. We are here to celebrate the delightful and all-round great person that is known as Akira. Some brief introductions. My name is Krista and I'm from occupational therapy, and I worked with Akira for upper extremity rehab, driving, and visual scanning. This is also Krista, because we like to keep things simple in rehab, who is a physiotherapist and worked on all things balance and ambulation. This, to the left of me, is the delightful Kaylee, who is a physiotherapy assistant and also all-around nice person. Or at least I think so. Yeah. It's important to note that there were also a lot of other therapists in Akira's journey. This included psychologists, orthotists, and recreational therapists. So I'm just going to give a brief history, which was kind of in the video already, of Akira's journey. So after experiencing her first intracerebral hemorrhage in 2008 due to Moya Moya disease, Akira completed her Bachelor of Education. She was working as a substitute teacher when she experienced a second brain hemorrhage in February 2022, requiring a right craniotomy. She was transferred to Glenrose for inpatient rehabilitation in March and was able to go home 6 weeks later. She returned to ESRA for outpatient therapy starting in May 2022. Initially, when she came to outpatient therapy, she was driven by family and pushed in a wheelchair. She later learned to take DATS independently and eventually DATS without the wheelchair. She had an ankle foot orthosis made by Glenrose Orthotics and now does not need it and just sometimes wears a sports brace. Despite lack of progress with her arm, she completed Glenrose Return to Driving program and is now driving. And before Kaylee goes, I just want to add a little side note. That Akira is somebody that has never met a stranger in her life, just a friend in waiting, I think. And which made her late for therapy on occasion because she had to exchange contact information with everyone.
Prior to her recent event, Akira was the organizer for the Edmonton Stroke Recovery Association, and she returned to a leadership role as well as a bingo caller role while still doing her outpatient therapies with us. Akira meets new stroke survivors for peer support, and she still volunteers here at the Glenrose to help people navigate their way around the hospital. Akira continually challenged all of us therapists and TAs to push her a little harder, to work on unique goals like getting into her backyard hot tub. And she continued to push her own boundaries and has experienced continued improvement as a result. Her positive attitude was much appreciated to everyone in our waiting room, as she was always chatting with other patients, providing encouragement and motivation. She was eager to share the things that she had learned that it had assisted her in her recovery, such as providing suggestions on where to get the right shoes to fit her braces and what CrossFit location had adapted activities. She was instrumental in teaching at least 8 physiotherapy students effective handling skills for balance training and working with them patiently to learn BioNesco, functional electrical STEM skills. She would often be heard providing feedback to our students about how their handling was impacting her balance recoveries and her responses, and how they could adjust to be better for her. She has an internally positive attitude, always having a laugh to share in the face of challenges and an open mind about possible solutions.
Even with significant responsibility at home with her 2 young children, Akira always came to her therapies ready to work and be in the moment. Her ability to prioritize her psychological recovery to the same extent as her physical recovery is an inspiration both to her fellow stroke survivors and all of her clinicians. Having now had this second stroke and knowing she has a chronic condition that might precipitate other events, her ability to maintain a positive attitude and continue to spread her joy around to all those that she meets is the true definition of courage.
I was told that this time, because I'm the only two-time recipient, I get to talk. So I've spent some time trying to perfect the perfect speech, but no promises. I want to start by saying that every single person and patient that I've ever met at this hospital, which as illustrated has been a lot, demonstrates extraordinary courage every day. I never thought I would be able to say that I've been awarded 2 Courage Awards by a globally recognized rehab hospital, but here we are. I had my first stroke in the Yukon in 2008, and the Glenrose was instrumental in getting me back to my life and work. My life after my first stroke was very, very full. I went on to graduate from university, get married, and have 2 amazing children who are now 5 and 8 years old. In 2022, 14 years after my first stroke, I was home alone with my 2 little girls, and I had a second one. They helped me find my phone. It was devastating for all of us. Once again, the Glenrose was there to help me recover. I would like to acknowledge that I stand here with all of you, as it took the support of many people to get me here. First, I'm grateful for my family, our 2 girls, and my amazingly supportive husband who is here, as well as my parents and extended family. They've helped to pick me up when I fell, both figuratively and literally, many times. I am also grateful for the incredible community of brain injury and stroke survivors I have met through the years, who have supported me and laughed with me through so much. And finally, the incredibly talented and compassionate staff of the Glenrose, who give their all to their work and their patients every day. Without their care, support, and dedication, I don't know where I'd be. Thank you so much for this recognition, and thank you so much to the foundation for hosting this event.
Thank you, Krista, the rest of the care team, and congratulations, Akira. It's been such an honor to hear your story. Our second recipient this afternoon is Aria Redicott. Aria is the youngest person to ever receive a Courage Award and might be the cutest to ever receive this award. You can spot her. She's completely in pink. I've been told that's her favorite color. Perfect. So she received the award at just 3 years old. So let's watch Aria's story now.
Aria Redicott was a happy 3-year-old when she developed a mystery blood infection.
Because when she went to have a bath, she had like a big bruise, I guess, on her shoulder, and then all down her right arm, it was completely purple.
STAR's air ambulance transported the toddler from Tabor, Alberta, to an ICU in Calgary. Hours later, her organs started to fail.
I actually went to grab some food, and my sister called me and said that they had to put her on life support because her heart just couldn't do it anymore.
Aria was transferred again to Edmonton's Stollery Children's Hospital for a special heart-lung machine called ECMO. Then she had a stroke. Eventually, antibiotics cleared up the infection, but Aria's battle wasn't over.
They harvested her whole back to do the skin graft, so she was in a lot of pain. She had a lot of healing to do, but she did really good.
Skin transplants or grafts were needed to repair the burn-like wounds on her arms and torso. When she arrived at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital, her little body was still very stiff.
She held one arm back, and sensory-wise, she didn't let anybody touch it. She said that it was painful a lot of the time.
Occupational therapist Sierra Petco says the approach to Aria's therapy was
play, play, play.
Here we go. The Glenrose team came up with fun but strategic activities to coax her into using both arms as much as possible.
And she made such huge strides. It was really, really amazing to see her from the beginning to the end.
Aria, where are we going?
We're going home.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Aria was discharged on her 4th birthday after 127 days in hospitals. She will need more skin grafts as she grows, and her mother is worried about bullies, but she knows her little girl is resilient.
I just got to teach her that she fought to have those scars. It shows her strength.
Such an incredible little girl. I'd like to now invite Joanna from Aria's care team to share why they nominated Aria and to present her with her award. But Aria, I need to know what's more exciting, seeing yourself on TV or getting an award? You seem pretty excited about that. You're a big deal, Aria. And I'm going to tell everybody about it.
So yes, my name is officially Johanna. People here in Aria will know me as Anne. I'm an occupational therapist along with a big team. There's a therapy assistant here with us today too, and a child life specialist with PT and a whole huge team. Not everybody's up here with me, but I want to give a huge shout out. It took a huge group. Yes, mostly the family and Aria, you guys put in all of it. So I'm just here to say a little bit about the huge journey that there was. So you saw most and you heard most of the story, but I'll give a bit of a recap. So yes, Aria's journey to recovery has been an eventful one and it's still ongoing. Both her and her family have had to be very brave throughout. On March 8th, 2023, Aria was just 3 years old and she was taken to her local emergency department after she was experiencing symptoms of toxic shock, which is like how her mom on the video explained her skin. She was taken to Edmonton later for further medical attention and required life-saving procedures to help keep her alive. She was left with significant burn-like wounds on her arms, her hands, her torso, and she had to get skin grafting to help manage these wounds. She also experienced a stroke during one of her medical procedures, and this kept her left arm and hand very weak. Aria joined us at the Glenrose Hospital in May, and she stayed until mid-July, just before her 4th birthday. She and her family worked very hard and worked with our entire health team on our inpatient children's unit here at the Glenrose to make goals and work daily on getting stronger and healthier. When Aria first joined, she wasn't able to walk or even sit for a long time in her wheelchair because the pain was really excruciating. She wouldn't move her arms and hands well, especially on that right side, and was getting Mum or the nurses to help her wash, change, and eventually get dressed, and was mostly fed through a feeding tube in her nose. Many of the procedures done with Aria were really scary and painful, and she had to be super brave when she was getting her garments or her dressing changed. But despite all of this seemingly impossible challenges, Aria found the courage to work with myself and the OT team on a lot of different goals. We would often have child life or PT, like I mentioned, helping get Aria moving and practicing her skills. And she and her family worked so hard that she eventually got back up, as you can maybe have seen her running around today, walking, running. We jumped down the hall. We were even trying to skip. If that is the same kid who first came in and now I could see this now, I wouldn't have believed it. Doing her own care, brushing her own teeth, eating again, brushing her hair, playing, getting dressed. And she's still working on keeping her skin healthy with different pressure garments. And a huge shout out to the Stollery Burn Treatment team as well. They've been a huge part of all of this. But this is about the Glenrose, so I'll keep it there. Different pressure garments on her arms and her hands and her torso. So it's pretty obvious, but I nominated Aria because it took unbelievable courage to keep going, even when it was scary to move. And no child should ever have to be in pain. And somehow Aria finds ways to push past this. She's full of joy and she's full of life, and she showed everybody around her what it meant to be a child and what it meant to really be a kid, even though she had to do hard work. That was kind of a phrase that we had, is we can do hard work, we can do hard things. And she was a perfect example of that. She brings light in even the darkest times. And Aria loves to get everybody involved in her imaginative play and would encourage other patients
even the older ones who were kind of grumpy sometimes, to come out to our groups, which was really awesome. We needed that. So thanks, Aria. The entire staff would brighten up with Aria around, and we're so proud of how far she's come. So please join me in celebrating Aria's strength and courage today.
Do you want to say something? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to stand on a chair?
Okay. Say thank you.
Thank you.
You want to say it again? You want to say thank you again? Okay, there you go.
Okay. Okay. I just want to say thank you to everybody that was involved in getting her back to being a 4-year-old. We're really grateful to all the staff for everything they did for Aria. And to get her back to the point that she's at now, we never think of how fast our lives can change, and this definitely makes us not take the little things for granted. Everybody. Say thank you. Are you done? Say thank you.
Oh my goodness. One more hand for Aria as she makes her way back. Nice work, my dear. And Aria is in preschool now, which is a pretty big deal because I'm sure it was very scary for her family for a while. It's really great to see her doing so well. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Dr. Lalit Satkunam up to the stage to introduce a special award this year called the Impact Award.
Thank you, Suling and Quinn. I have the distinct honor and privilege of presenting a very special award known as the Impact Award, and its equally extraordinary recipient, Russ Walker. Let me tell you about this Impact Award. The Impact Award acknowledges an individual who has been an advocate for our facility, our dedicated staff, and our patients. Their significant contributions have played an important role in championing the exceptional standard of care that the Glenrose Hospital delivers. This award has been awarded only once before to one of today's presenters, Suling Go. So it goes back in 2019, Suling was recognized for this award, especially for the substantial impact in her sharing the stories of the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital and helping the wider community understand the significant role that rehabilitation plays in the healthcare system. Today, we're here to honor Russ Walker, whose impact on the world of rehabilitation and unwavering commitment to helping others is deeply inspiring. I've known Russ for 20 years, and the bulk of his working career as a registered nurse was here at the Glenrose. And exactly about a year ago, just under a year ago, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor and has been through rehabilitation here at the Glenrose, having faced firsthand the journey that you just heard from our two Courage recipients. Now, 20 years ago, Russ, let me talk a little bit about the impact that he brings to the Glenrose, his patients, and the community at large. 20 years ago, he joined hands with me, 20 years ago, which is a long time ago, Russ, to start an interdisciplinary spasticity clinic here at the Glenrose, the first of its kind in Canada at that time. And today, this clinic has a national reputation as well as an international recognition. And it is very interesting, Suling, you may or may not recall this, but she did a story when we first started an interdisciplinary orthopedic spasticity clinic here within our service. And Suling, at that time, you interviewed Dr. Schaffenberger, the orthopedic surgeon, and myself. But I want you to know that it was Russ Walker, who was behind the scenes, who really pushed hard for us to get this service off the ground. So today you get to meet in person. What a wonderful individual he's been there for us. Now, I must say that Suling, you and Russ are the type of people who bring awareness to rehabilitation, especially to highlight the great work that is being done here at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital. Now, what is unique about Russ is his unwavering care for patients and his utmost dedication. This has also led him to be a very strong advocate, not just for his patients, but also for the team and the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital. And a testament to his advocacy is this summer, even with his very dense paralysis on one side of his body, he participated in the MS bike ride, the Glenrose Foundation bike ride, by getting a tricycle modified and braces modified. And I see Beth Watkins, who's retired from the Glenrose, who's kindly agreed to come here today, come to celebrate him. Beth also was instrumental in making all these modifications. So I really want to thank that bigger team at the Glenrose for coming together to modify things to help Russ participate in these bike rides with all the paralysis that he has. And, thank you so much for raising dollars to help those with neurological disorders that require rehab. Now, the legacy that Russ leaves behind for all of us is a strong advocacy. And Russ, my friend, in the remaining years, I will continue to strive hard to be the advocate that you have been for others. And I really want to quote something that you had mentioned here in closing. Take joy from what you have, give joy when you can, choose to be positive, make a conscious effort to fight the negative. What a great story. And thank you for those words. So Russ is a shining example of courage, and we are privileged to celebrate his achievements today. Thank you for your dedication, your positivity, your commitment to making the world a better place. So congratulations to you. And I also want to extend a very warm welcome to those of you who are watching from the UK. Russ's family in the UK are also right now on Zoom. So Jan and the rest of the family, all the best. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask Russ to join us on stage. Please, please,
I would like to introduce my wife, Maria, who will speak on my behalf. Otherwise, you'll be here all day.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, we just thank you to Lala. Thank you to everybody for honouring Russ with this award today, to the Glenrose Foundation. We're honoured and overwhelmed to be here. Russ, like he said, would be doing this part if he could. I'm just going to say a few words on his behalf. Even though his speech has improved in the last year since the surgery, when he's fatigued, or especially today with emotion. The words that form in his head have trouble making it to his mouth to speak. Although he does pretty good, I'd say.
I think so.
Yeah, we have many, many people to thank for being a big part of the reason Russ is here to accept the award today. Some of whom are here today, and in part as a thank you to them for their skills and their time and their willingness to give Russ the greatest gifts they could have, joy and the freedom that he feels when he rides that trike. As a strong and active man all his life, when this happened, he was stripped of his independence, his ability to work and drive, and all the things he loved to do. And one of those was to get out on a bike to keep himself fit and to raise money for those with MS. It's people like Beth Watkins, retired physiotherapist who knew Russ from working at the Glenrose, as mentioned. She connected him to the charity You Can Ride To, and she works with them. This team gave hours and hours of their time and expertise, brainstorming, problem solving, and passion for what they do to adapt a trike to a one-handed rider. And he was able to learn that and bring it home, and he went on almost every day he could. It lifted his mood every time he would get out there and ride, and it was the only time he could feel free. He could move and feel truly free. On days when he was exhausted, he could barely eat, he would still go out on his trike and keep pushing to the goal, towards the goals he set for himself and achieve what he set out to do. His right leg is non-functional and it needed substantial support to keep it upright on the pedal. Mark 1 pedal worked for a while, but the weight of the leg caused it to fail. And then Mark 2, made by yours truly, with some direction from Mr. Walker, was barely sufficient to support it, but it did the job for a while. It was at this point that Beth put us in touch with David Mueller, an orthotist she previously worked with here at the Glenrose. After meeting Russ for the first time, he was willing to donate his time and skill and expertise to create a sports orthotic that provides the solid support needed for his leg, keeping it in line, making it easier for me every time to help him on there. Without it, continuing would have been impossible, and achieving his goals would have slipped from his grasp. Nigel Inch gave hours of his time and brain power thinking outside the box to fit a motor to the trike for safety, so that if he should come across a hill that he wasn't able to manage, it'd be there if he needed it. Nigel's wife, Krista, our MS bike team captain and good friend, when finding out Russ intended to ride the MS bike this year, did everything she could to support him, and the team waited at check stops to cheer him in. Dean Radloff, Lance Draper, and Nigel rode alongside Russ like the true friends they are, and again on the courage ride for the Glenrose around Pigeon Lake in September. Dean would help with issues, fix the bike and spend time. Jim Walker, Russ's dad, fixed a problem with the trike when the chain kept falling off, and he figured out the problem and enabled Russ to keep on riding. We cannot name everyone here we'd like to thank, although we would love to. So many have been there for us and continue to be, both on and off the trike. Our pit crew, they know who they are. These are just a few of the people that we'd like to thank for their love and support, and whom he could not have done it without. I had a much longer speech planned, but apparently, according to Russ, it was a bit too gushy and embarrassing. But as he puts it, this one covered the salient points, and so it met the seal of approval. Finally, this disease has taken so much from Russ, though frightening and incurable. He chose not to give up, to let it take over. He chose to do what he could to give back, to make a difference. And by doing so, display what it is to have true courage, showing his children, Gabe and Belle, and all of us how something so devastating can be turned around into a positive. Never allow anger and bitterness to take away from what you have and what you can still achieve. This is who Russ is. Thank you from both of us to everyone. Thank you to everyone.
Oh. It's years. Hardly walk.
You want to go that?
Yeah.
Really badly for asking, but you have to wiggle
A little bit forward. Welcome forwards. Shut it off. Sorry. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
Congratulations, Russ.
Oh, I'm supposed to be a news anchor. I'm supposed to be able to keep things
Yeah.
together. You didn't warn me before we got here today. No.
Probably should have.
Probably. That
Yeah.
straight face is not working.
No.
Out for me.
Some pretty amazing stories. People like Russ who go through so much and yet still manage to make a difference for others, which I think is the spirit of the Courage Awards
Yeah.
for sure.
What an inspiration Russ is, and what an incredible impact he's had on the Glenrose. One more round of applause for Russ.
All right, we have one more special award this afternoon. I'd like to invite Mark Forthius back to the stage to tell us about the Legacy Award.
Excuse me. Not long ago, we received news that one of our founding board members had passed away. Mary Agnes Radistitz was a longtime Glenrose advocate, donor, and community champion. She has left an indelible mark on both the Glenrose Hospital and our foundation. The Legacy Award is a tribute to exceptional individuals whose profound impact on the Glenrose Hospital serves to inspire generations to come. It is with deep respect and admiration that we present the inaugural Legacy Award to Mary Agnes Radistitz. Her extraordinary commitment to this hospital and its mission is awe-inspiring. Mary Agnes's tireless efforts, unwavering support, and ability to uplift those around her has created a lasting legacy that we are proud to carry forward. Please join me in welcoming Mary Agnes's husband, Ivan, and daughter, Lynn Richardson, to the stage to accept the Legacy Award in her honor.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mary Agnes died 5 weeks ago, so if I get a little emotional, you understand why. Good afternoon. With me today, our daughter Lynn, our son Paul, his wife Penny, son John, Mary Agnes' sister Jane, and her husband Lloyd. We're so gracious that you have been able to see the tremendous life that Mary Agnes did live and her love for this facility. Thank you. Really thank you to everybody for recognizing my wife, Mary Agnes. She was a model of caring, of sharing, of giving, and loving. From a child wanting to care for children to a physiotherapist caring for polio patients at the University Hospital, where she would take them home on the weekends, out to the cottage with her parents at Alberta Beach, push them into the water in their wheelchair, and give them the opportunity to get the feeling of lake water. That was Mary Agnes. Volunteering at this facility for many years and becoming a founding member of the foundation, the board of directors, she lived for the Glenrose. She was so proud to have been part of the foundation, and in particular, inviting me to meetings of the board, because I sat on 3 other hospital boards in Edmonton, and she said, well, you know, if you invite me to their meetings, I can invite you to our meetings, which we did. And it was terrific. She also spent so many hours volunteering at the St. Joe's Auxiliary Hospital. Matter of fact, about 15 years. Her father passed away there and her mother as well. This is our Mary Agnes. There's not enough darkness, I believe, in the world to extinguish her burning candle of love, caring, sharing, giving, and inspiration. Some of you at the hospital here may have read the 110-page book that I created a number of years ago, 3 years ago, called The Memories, Mary Agnes, The Memories She Gave Us. And it is the full story of her life, her caring from the time she was a baby up till the time 2 years prior to her death. Alzheimer's is a terrible way to go. And the last 2 years has been very difficult for her. So thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to the Glenrose for recognizing my beautiful wife, Mary Agnes. Glenn?
Thank you, everyone, for coming and joining us here today. I'm really honored to accept this legacy award on behalf of my beautiful mom, Mary Agnes. She was an incredibly humble, giving, caring, just generous person, and she just loved to be helpful to everybody, and she loved the Glenrose. And I remember as a kid, she talked about the Glenrose a lot, and brought my younger brother here for his physio, and it was a pretty special place for her. She never expected anything in return, ever. She never needed any recognition. She just loved to do things and loved to help out. But I know if she knew she was getting this award, she'd be here and she'd be so giddy. So I can just see her smiling and being so proud of herself, but just very inwardly. My mom, yeah, like I said, Glenrose was very near and dear to her heart. She was a physiotherapist, and I followed in her footsteps, and I'm also a physio, and she was so proud of me as being a physio, and I'm so proud of her today. So thank you, everyone, for being here, and we appreciate it.
We're very sorry for your loss. Mary Agnes sounds just amazing. I'm really sorry she couldn't be here. I bet you she would have loved it. Thank you so much for joining us to celebrate Mary Agnes's remarkable legacy. The contribution she made to the Glenrose Hospital obviously will be remembered for a very, very long time.
Thank you again to Akira, Aria, Russ, and their families as well for allowing us to learn from each and every one of you and to celebrate your amazing spirit. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of this ceremony and to help in recognizing all of you today. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. This one's over here.
And that's the end of the formal part of our program, but please stick around. We can hang out. I believe there are some refreshments, and you can meet our amazing recipients. Thank you so much for coming today, and it's been a real honor to be part of this event for 16 years, and I will be passing the torch, perhaps to Quinn. We will find out, but thank you so much. Have a good day.